I need to get these coils fitted, so I wanted to record it and I can't do it while I'm holding a camera phone, so I thought I'd go live and do it. Right, so better disconnect everything. I'll just put these together so I know where everything goes and I'll put that together, I suppose. Flipping clips. To get everything off here. Clipped. Put those together so I know which is which and everything. I didn't feel like putting the coils on today, I really didn't. I was watching Russ, and I am watching Russ when I get back to it, but I suppose I'll just disconnect secondary coils as well, because it's a lot easier to work on when you're not putting on wires. Right, everything's disconnected now, I think. Yeah. Right, okay. Oh, my camera's got a limp. It's got this lean on it. It keeps sagging on me. So I was just reading something. Okay, get these elastic bands off here. Look at these elastic bands, are going white already. It's acetone. They're starting to deteriorate. It's the acetone when I'm working with it. Right, so I'll just untwist these wires on here as well to separate the where's my tweeters gone? Oh yeah, right. Right. Which way do I twist this? I can't even see. Which way do I twist the wire? I don't want to be twisting them tighter because sometimes I do it the wrong way around. I must have twisted these anti-clockwise by the looks of it. Yeah. Normally I don't do that, but I don't know why I do it like that. Did I twist these anti-clock? Yeah, I did. I'm untwisting them first because when I take the thing apart, things have a tendency to fall out and I don't want to rip wires off or anything. Okay, so I can take this top one off. Maybe. Secondary coil. Stick that back down there. Don't want to dismantle it all, I just want to sort the end out, the top. Now, originally, well, most of them are using the 8 concentrics. Well, I run out of 8 concentric magnets, so the new ones at the top are going to be the 4 concentric magnets. There's a difference, but it won't matter. I had to use them 4 on both sides because it's balanced. I'll just have to get some more of the 8 magnets sometime. But oh, nearly fell out. Take that concentric magnet array out. Now, there's a difference between these. If you look, the plastic's on the back. So coupling is very weak. There's basically an air gap. Now the new ones I'm going to put in with the 4 magnets. There is no air gap. The ferrite cores go all the way through. I can't show you that properly. Let's get a top on it. The ferrite cores actually go all the way through. Right, so it'll be more efficient. So, then that will balance up with the middle ones because I think they're all the way through as well. Yeah, they are. So, right, I just have to pop these out. I'm going to get some more. Oh, there's 2 bobbins in the top there. Oh, I need to lift the camera up more. I'll just pop these out now. Wires. I don't want to get the wires. That one. Yeah. Get these out now. I keep forgetting you pull these apart a little bit to ease them out. Move that over there a bit. Damn it, that's tight. Where's my plastic thingy? Can't get it underneath. Right, okay, I'll stick my thumb in there and then wedge it because it's not easy to push this. Almost there. Oh yeah, right, that's the. Yeah, that was a 34 SWG at 300 turns wire one. Thumb between there and there. I should really get this way to pull it out. There we go, this one's a bit easier. Right, that's one out. So then I have to pop these in. Oh, where I'm going to put my wires, because these wires, let me see. I'll just leave the wires in the middle, I suppose. You know, the wires terminate in the centre so I can get to them through the hole. In theory, the distance should be exactly the same. So the plastic that goes from the middle, it should be exactly the same. So the actual coils show up a bit on the sides on here now. Get that on there. These wires to basically come round like this, so I can get to them. Like that sort of thing. Can't really see the wires very well. At some point I need to put some little solder pads on the ends where I can solder these wires onto and make it a lot easier for terminations of the connections. Oh, it turns a bit easier, that's good, I can rotate this slightly. So that's the, I'll just bend these wires over so I don't push them all back into the hole. That's that end. So, now if you look at the coils, that's the secondary, then I've got my, these are connected together still, so I can't take them off. But then there's my actuator coil, which is right in the middle, and this is a plastic pillar that holds everything straight. Actually, let me just find I've got some longer ones I can put in there, just a minute. Somewhere, I think I have. Should be right. I'm not sure. I made some telescopic things in case I wanted to telescopically make these into extendable ones. I made some. I've 3D printed these cores that go down the middle, and you push it in, and then it can extend a long one if I want. But I don't think I need it. I did it anyway in case I needed it. Let's see. Are these longer? Yeah, they are. So I'm probably going to use the longer ones. Where's my other longer one gone? Oh, it's in my hand. Is this the same as that one? Yeah. Right. I wasn't thinking. Now I'm going to take these short ones out. These are a bit shorter. I'm going to put the longer ones in. You see, without these cores in, everything just slides around. Oops. Right, that's better. On that side. Right, so I can put this end back on, then I'll turn it over to the other end. So I've got my balance actuator coils in on this end. It definitely looks a bit taller to me. You know what? I do think I need the even longer ones. Let me go and grab those. I'm certainly going to need the longer ones because once I turn this over, the thing's going to fall all the way through. These are even longer. Right, so let's just take that off. Take it out. Yeah, definitely need these super duper longer ones. I printed a few different sizes because I knew that at some point I would probably need longer internal things. Now this should poke up the end until I swap the other end out. Yeah, they don't actually go all the way through, but they will do once I turn this over. They come right to the top here, and the rest is on the edge of that. But once I actually swap out and put the other end actuator coils on the other end, those pillars will be the right length. Right, there's actually a gap at the moment, as you can see. Yeah, but there won't be once I sort this end out. Right, I'll take these out. You know, I'm not sure, but the magnets that I've got in these are C8s. They're actually N52s. These are N52 magnets, but I can't remember now what magnet strength these other ones are in these other actuators. I think they're probably a bit weaker, I'm not sure. But anyway, they're bigger, so they should be alright. And there's only 4 of them instead of 8. We'll find out anyway when I do tests. We'll see what the difference is. These were untwisting as well. Oh my god, that wire wasn't even connected to that other one. It must have come off. Which, I'm not sure if it came off while I was doing testing, but if it did, then I wasn't testing with all the coils connected. But, oh well, no worries. I think it's already come off. Yeah, it's already untwisted. I don't know what happened there. I must have untwisted it. Anyway, let's see if we can get these out. Oops. Put my thumb in there. See, I've got these little pillars. I can stick my thumb and it prizes these things apart because they kind of clamp onto the coils. Got it. There's nothing wrong with the coils as such. The only reason I'm swapping these out, right, because these are 300 turns of 34 SWD. The ones I'm putting in will be the same as the middle ones because I went out of the 34 SWD wire. So I stuck these on the end, and well, I'm going to have equal balanced coils now when I put these in because the new ones are all 36. Well, they've got this access point at the back. It is tricky to get in. That's breaking. I don't want to break anything. There's something to creak. It's difficult because of the layers on the 3D printed material. It kind of grips like. I've got my other thing out. Right, okay. So, there's nothing wrong with these. I'll keep them for other experimentations I'm doing. Right. Just stick them over here. The magnets seem to push them away. Stick them all together like this. Right, so I'll put these in now. So they just pop in like that. There's something I was going to talk about this design. Basically, this could be stackable. I could have multiple coils. I could stack them so that there's. I'd have to increase the size of these cores that hold everything together, obviously. But the way I made it is that we have another actuator coil, which I've just put in here on the end here. We could, in theory, have another set of secondaries on top, and then have another set of actuators on top of that, and we could keep building it like a skyscraper because it's actuated at about every 2 inches. We could basically just keep building this up and up and up and up and up, and we could have it 3 feet tall if I wanted. But it should, in theory, that would make it more efficient because there would be less flux. The flux field would start to expand out, and more of that flux that leaked out would be captured by another coil. So now there is something else I was thinking about, because what I'm thinking about is that the actual actuation pulses from the coil could be bleeding across to an opposing field on the secondary. So I might have to put some air gaps. Well, not air gaps, actually an air gap between the coils, the actual actuator coil and the secondary coil, but I'd have to stick a ferrite ring to complete the magnetic circuit through. So that's something I might have to do as well later on. I'll have to find out, because when I increase the actual voltage going in and the alternating current, there's a certain threshold point that when you get over it, a certain point, the output starts to go down, the input starts to go up, and I think that's because of what we call crosstalk. If you know anything about crosstalk, that's when a certain amount of energy gets to a point where it starts to bleed across. Now, if there is a crosstalk problem, then I will have to increase an air gap between the actual coils, but still complete the magnetic circuit of the actuated magnetic field, so it can still carry the field down to the coil, which won't be out of phase. So it's basically a phase differential. It's when it's out of phase. That's when I've observed some issues. So we'll have to see about that later. But anyway, this should go on here now without too much of a problem. Yeah. Okay, it's on. It looks like a bit taller now. Well, that's because it is a bit taller now. And it's interesting because obviously experimenting with different heights, and it will affect everything. It will give me different results. So, that's for that side. This wire's for that's for that side. This one's for this side. Right. I need to keep these wires adjacent to because when I'm wiring it up, I don't want to be getting my wires crossed, you know. So that goes on there really well, and that's with the new actuators, and you can actually see the coils on the ends now, which you couldn't see before because they were further away. So that's with all 6 balanced coils in place. I'm just going to read what's going on in the chat. Put us back on live, but I'm just recording this while I put them in. what I'll probably do is I'll probably resume the test later because I want to get this separately. I just want to record the assembly at the moment and the reassembly or whatever with the new coils, and then later on I'll do a separate live stream when I start to test this because I'm in the middle of doing other things right now. But I was sitting there watching Russ on the live stream, Russ Greason, thinking, when am I going to get this flipping thing put together? You know, the new coils, and it's just driving me batty. So I mean, I can actually start wiring it up, and I can run the tests without messing about later on. I wanted to make sure that all these coils that were in the middle that holds everything together, I wanted to make sure that was going to fit okay, because if it wasn't, I'd have to go and put them down or try and extend them or something. That's why I made that telescopic part I was showing earlier, in case I had to extend it by using two separate pieces. Look at that. Fans. A minute. I'm going to cut my elastic bands. I'm just untangling them. That's it. That's better. Oh, that's twisted. I'm just trying to make sure that these elastic bands don't tear and snap on me, because I'm a bit low on these long ones. I haven't got many long ones left. That's that together, and all of the ferrites are rubbing. I can hear them. That is super duper cool. Right. Smell them rubber bands. Right, so there's my wires for the end actuators. What I'll probably do is move them elastic bands along a little bit and bring the wires up between each pair, and that will hopefully keep my wires from getting mixed up. I'll just bring them together so I can see which are which. Yeah, I need to put some soldered copper tape and stick it on to solder these wires onto, so it's easier to terminate the wires, but I decided to leave that until later because it's a lot more hassle to unsolder everything and remove it when you want to change something out. And I won't worry too much if the wires snap off, because I've got copper solder tags on the actual bobbins. So the next phase really is for me to put the meter on them to make sure I've got no shorts anywhere, because there's always a chance of the ferrite touching the copper. Like on these, just on these, there's a bit of copper on the there, where the wire soldered on. If that happened to slide across, there's a danger of it touching the ferrite and shorting out. And it's the same on these, so I've just got to make sure that's not going to happen. Right, pull a wire through there. I'm also doing this through between the rubber bands, so the rubber bands, when these wires are moving about, right, they're not straining the actual part that's soldered onto the bobbin. Lay them down before I put it on. I'll tell you what, yeah, I haven't done this one yet. There. Well, that was a bit short. Damn it, I'm going to move the band over here a bit. Actually, it wasn't short, it was just, it's this one short. Right, there we go. Right, I can get to those easy enough. Yabba dabba doo. What the hell's going on here? Oh, that's my other actuator coil. They're still connected. Let's bring that down here a bit. So connect directly onto those. Secondary winding. I've still got loops on these wires. I need to undo these loops. I'm going to wrap it around with the wires. Well, I hope that these are the thicker ones for the secondaries, and there's always a danger they will snap off, but as I say, I can solder straight onto there, so I'm not too worried about that, but I'd rather it didn't happen. Right, those are untwisted. Yeah, these are all ready as well to connect to. Right, that's that. Right, so I'm going to stick this down here and connect that up, back up again and do tests, but that's going to be later because I'm not doing it right this minute. I'm going to go and see what Russ is up to on rwresearch.com. I'll have to stick these somewhere else because those I've just taken off. I'm going to stick them in a safe place. Because when I get some of these 8 magnets, I need to redo these so that there's an air gap going all the way through, and so they're not as thick and not as thinner. I have to do them thinner because I've got an air gap there right now, which makes them less efficient. Because I kind of want them to resonate pretty fast, you see. I think I'll stack these on top of each other actually. There we go. Right. They stick together pretty well. So these are the ones I took off. Oh, close in. And those are the ones I took off. Yeah. So, but I actually, as I say, 300 turns, same number of turns, but instead of 34, it's 36, so I still do wire on the outside ones. Goes in the room out of the way. Right, so disassembly and reassembly completed. I'll be back later when I do some tests.